Hello again, Izzy from Digital Goja Showrooms. And today we're going to take a look at how to work with the Altura flash lineup on wireless slave mode. Some of these have the E-TTL wireless mode and other ones have just the standard optical wireless mode. We're going to take a closer look. If this video helps you out, as always, hit me up with the like button underneath. And remember to subscribe to our channel for future tutorials, sessions, and unboxings. And don't forget, when in Miami, visit me at Digital Goja Showrooms. So the first one we're going to do in the series is their new professional series flash, the APC 958X. This guy is for Canon. So I happen to have a very popular camera here. This is a Canon Rebel EOS T6i. So first we have to get the camera set up. So we activate our menu. I always like to start out with manual because this opens up the entire menu selection for you. And you notice on the first folder, we're going to scroll all the way down where it says flash control. And we're going to, of course, enable flash firing. And then we're going to go to built-in flash settings, since we're going to use the flash that's in the Rebel as our primary flash source. And we're going to switch it over to where it says Easy Wireless. So now notice that it already switched to channel 1, and that means it is set to be your commander or master flash to power this guy, to control it. Okay, so now we turn this guy on. And we want to hold the zoom button down until you have wireless. And notice that it's off. We want to turn the command wheel until we go to slave mode. And the default is always group A, channel 1, which is also the default on the camera. Now, notice how this starts to blink. This is the sensor that's now looking for the signal from the camera. So this always has to be aimed in the direction of your camera. But the beauty of the Altura flash is that it has a swivel head. So you aim the head at your subject matter, but make sure that this is now aimed at your primary flash source. And remember, this little holder is great to hold it in place, but on the bottom you also have your tripod light stand adapter. So now I'm going to place that there. I'm going to activate my built-in flash, pop it up, and now when I fire, it's going to fire off the other flash. So notice how it's controlling this one. But again, it's optical, so I can move it out of the field of vision of the camera, but I have my flash aimed at that one so it can also fire off. So now you have the easy way to do TTL wireless flash with the Altura Photo APC 958X. This is how you set up the Altura Photo flash for Nikon for wireless. Now I happen to have a very popular, it's an older model, but it'll work with all the D3300s, D5300s. They're very, very exact when it comes to their flash synchronization. This one is a D3200. So first we have to set up the camera. So turn it on. I always set it on manual so I can activate all my menu. And then I hit the I button so I can scroll over to flash, and I activate the flash mode to normal. Now you can do red eye also, but usually since I'm working with multiple flashes, I don't have an issue with red eye. Again, activate it. Now again, manual, because remember, this guy when it's on wireless does not transfer any information from the camera for the TTL setting. So the camera has to be set to manual, and you also have to set this guy to the S1 mode. So when you activate this flash, you want to make sure that your mode is set to the S1. Now, this is your sensor. That's why the Altura flash has a swivel head, because you can aim this head at your subject matter, but you have to make sure that your sensor is aimed at your primary flash source. And remember, the little stand also has a tripod and light stand adapter, but here for this demonstration, it sits perfectly on my studio shelf there. You pop up your flash, I have the flash sync set to 1/25, and as you can see, this guy is firing off every time that I fire my primary flash source. And since you have to set the exposure yourself, again, the beauty of digital is you can see it right away and you can compensate. Remember, you have to set it. It starts out at full power, which is the 1-to-1 ratio, and you can change that and lower it all the way down to, if you choose to, even to 1/128th power. It all depends on the ISO and how close you are to your subject matter. But the important thing is make sure that that swivel is always aimed at your primary flash so it picks up the sync. This is how you set your Altura photo strobe for Canon for wireless synchronization. Now, this version of the Altura flash does not have wireless TTL. So your TTL setting will not function when you have the flash off camera. It does come with a little adapter foot. Remember, you can actually mount it on a light center on a tripod. First, we have to set up the camera. So we have to go ahead, turn it on, and let's go into the menu. And you want to go where it says flash control. Scroll down to built-in flash settings, and notice that you have custom wireless, normal. Set it to easy wireless. That's the easiest way. This way it guarantees that it'll synchronize with your external flash. Now, get a hold of the Altura, turn it on, and remember, you want to go into the S1 mode. So there, when you have it set to S1, it's ready for synchronization. Now, this guy is your sensor. So your sensor has to be facing your primary flash. The beauty of the Altura head is that it rotates. So you can rotate this to aim it at your subject matter, but you want to make sure that this guy is always facing your primary flash so you can get the proper flash sync. So, for example, I already pop up the flash. It's ready to go. So when you fire off the flash, it fires off the Altura one. Again, it has to be facing the primary flash. The head can be aimed at your subject matter, but you want to make sure. Now, very important, since it does not have wireless TTL, you have to make sure that you set the power ratio that you prefer. So you have to come to the conclusion of whether you want it 1-to-1, or remember, with this one you can actually cut down the power all the way down to, as small as 1/128th power. But you have to decide that power ratio because it's not wirelessly synchronizing the TTL portion with your camera. So it doesn't know what power ratio to use. You have to set it yourself on the strobe. Well, once you get comfortable with it, it becomes really easy to do wireless strobe with the Altura flash for Canon. Now we're going to set the Altura Photo Universal Flash to wireless mode. This flash is meant to work in wireless with any camera out there. Since this is a universal flash, of course you have to use it on manual, but it'll work with Canon, Nikons, Panasonics, Sonys, anything that is out there that can work with the standard flash. So that's what this guy is. But we want to first set the flash, notice, to S1, because honestly, since there is no TTL, we're always going to be shooting with the primary flash on manual, and of course the camera will be on manual also. So I already have this guy set to manual. This is a Rebel T6i flash sync. Let's pick a faster flash sync there, 1/25th of a second. Pop up your flash. Now, what's very important is this guy in the front is your sensor. So this actually has to be aimed at your primary flash source. That's the beauty of it, having a swivel, because you can aim your flash head at your subject matter, but you need this aimed at the primary flash source. Now the foot, of course, can stand on its own, but you also have the adapter for a tripod or a light stand. So you can have this aimed at your subject, and then when you fire your primary flash, that flash fires off. And again, you have to set the ratio, since it is a manual flash, to the amount of power that you need. So of course, if you want to go full power, you can do so, but it's going to take longer to recycle. And again, we can do the same thing with our Nikon. Set the camera again to manual, pop up your flash. This one I have it set to 160. I like Nikon at 1/60th of a second. And again, fire off, and it will fire off your Altura photo flash.